welcome to our weekly garden check-in. My name is Kelsey, children's educator here at Ginter Botanical Garden, and this week we are water testing. At the garden, we have a water quality monitoring program, and we sample water from streams and ponds and lakes all in the garden and around the perimeter, because that water can tell us a lot about the environment around us. First, I look around and take data about the weather. So how sunny is it? Have we had any rain lately? And then I will look around the area and see if there's anything unusual. I will use my eyes to see if I see algae or red bacteria, or if the water is unusual color. Also, I will smell the water to see if it has a chemical smell or a more natural smell. And I also will look for wildlife or scat of wildlife to give me an indication of what kind of wildlife is around. Next, I'll measure the turbidity, or how clear the water is, using this turbidity tube. At the bottom, there's a Secchi disc, or a circular checkerboard, white and black checkerboard, that I will look for. So I fill up my turbidity tube with water, and then I will look down and try to view the Secchi disc. If I can see the Secchi disc, I'll record the measurement on the side of my turbidity tube. The largest measurement of the water level the Secchi disc can be seen, and that will tell me how clear the water is. Next, I will use probes to measure the pH, which is the measure of how acidic or how basic the water is. When we look at a pH scale, you can see that a pH of 7 is neutral, or a clear bottle of water that we would drink. So we were hoping to see a pH of about 7. The dissolved oxygen, which is a measure of how much oxygen gas is in the water and available to animals and plants that need oxygen to survive. And the electrical conductivity, which is a measure of salts and dissolved inorganic chemicals that will tell us how impure the water is. Next, we'll take our water sample back to the lab to run a few more tests. We're going to test for nitrates, phosphates, and ammonia, which are found in fertilizers. And we're testing them for them because if we're finding components of fertilizers in the water, then that means we're either fertilizing too much or improperly, and the plants on the land are unable to use all the fertilizers that we are giving them. Those fertilizers can cause problems once they end up in water bodies. And we'll also be testing for E. coli, which is a bacteria that is extremely harmful to humans if ingested. So I'll show you how we do that. So this is our incubator, and this is where we've been incubating our E. coli samples. What we're looking for to test for E. coli are blue dots. So if you see any blue dots, that's an indication that there is E. coli in one of our water samples. So where we are at the garden is a part of the James River Watershed. And the James River Watershed is the largest watershed in Virginia that spans the entire state, all the way from the mountains down to the Chesapeake Bay. All of that water is connected through streams and under the ground. And so how we treat our water here at the garden can have an impact on the Chesapeake Bay and the ocean, so it's important for us to monitor it and make sure that we are taking good care of our water. Thanks so much for joining our check-in this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys next time.